Hello everyone and welcome back to my F1 2020 My Team career mode journey for the round in France today. We start this off with the weather forecast for practice 3. You can see that third icon there, 90 minutes into the session. There is stormy conditions, but unfortunately the session would have ended by then, so that never actually materialized. But it still rained quite a lot in practice 2.
Okay, Jeff here. How are you getting on? Yeah, this weather's far from ideal, but we're still getting plenty of useful data. Just do your best to keep it out the wall for me.
So we did manage to keep it out of the wall. We actually got maximum points, resource points from practice. So yeah, that is great for our R&D. But anyway, let's just get into qualifying and see where we will start for the French Grand Prix. So we go to our second flying lap in Q1 right at the end of the session. Getting this second lap in, you can see we're in P21 at the moment, only ahead of Nicholas Latifi, so we need to drastically improve by around about a second if we want to get a lap in good enough to get us into the next session as things stand. So we're actually red through the first sector, so it's not a great start to the lap, but after running slightly wide at the end of the first sector, we are green heading through the middle sector, and we can definitely gain some time in the final sector where on our first attempt I got a lot of understeer. The tyres probably just overheating a bit through that final sector. I made sure to cool them out a little bit more before starting this lap, so we shouldn't run into such issues in the next session. So as we go through now into the final sector, we are green by a significant amount, so I think we may have a chance here of getting through, because we will gain a lot of time through these few corners where I struggled in the previous session. So now just 2 corners to go really, and we just need to keep it on the track. Again, not a great line through there, but the final corner we get through nice and cleanly, smooth on the exit, and we will get the DRS to the line. And where will we qualify? P11, we're through to Q2. Awesome stuff. So, also through, you can see there most of the drivers that you would expect. Interestingly, Roman Grosjean is through, as well as Magnussen. Both of the Hasses doing a good job. The Williams, Guan Yu Zhou, Sergio Perez, Pierre Gasly and Lance Stroll, the drivers knocked out. So Racing Point really not showing the pace they have the potential of in that session. But anyway, hopefully they'll be able to come back from that in the race. We go on to Q2, and again we wait till the very end of the session. We can only do 1 lap, so we might as well do it when the best track conditions are available. A lot of understeer through there though, and we do cut the next corner slightly, but that's probably not going to have a huge bearing on our lap time. This whole first sector has been very scrappy, so it's just about damage limitation now for the rest of this lap, and hopefully we can still pick up a few spots and not qualify in 16th. But we've lost quite a lot of time in that first sector, I would imagine, but really pushing it through here, and I really do love that chicane section, and I feel like that's a place I can make up a bit of time. But we don't have any kind of delta to compare to a previous lap, so we're just going as fast as we possibly can now into the final sector. A little bit wide on the entry, and through the exit a little bit tight, so not getting line quite right through there. So yeah, this lap we'll be lucky if we qualify any higher than 16th at this point. But 2 corners to go, and we get this corner cleaned up a little bit from our first lap, and then the final corner now getting through there. Alright, a little bit wide on the exit, and DRS open to the line, short line to the finish, and we will qualify in P15. Not great, not bad. So it is P15 for us. Also, look at that. The McLarens are only just scraping through which is interesting. Ocon faster than Ricciardo. The Ferrari's looking fast at the moment. But anyway, Magnussen, myself, Giovinazzi, Kvyat, Raikkonen, and Roman Grosjean knocked out. So Grosjean almost making it into Q3. Great effort by him. As we scroll back up to the top though, Vettel and Leclerc topping the session. But anyway, let's get into the race and see how it goes.
Welcome along then to France, host of the world-famous Tour de France. But we're not talking two wheels today, we're talking four, in a country widely thought of as giving birth to the art of motor racing back in the late 1800s. We've come a long way since then, and you're about to find out how far. It's time for the French Grand Prix. A lap of Paul Ricard then consists of 15 corners and a total length of around 3.6 miles. Drivers will need to position their cars carefully on the exit of the flat-out turn 10, ready for the double apex right-hander at 11. Watch out for potential overtaking action at the end of the start-finish straight and into the heavy braking zone of turn 8. Anthony Davidson will be sharing his insights alongside me once again today. And great to have you here. What should we be looking out for?
What a great race we have in store for us today. Valtteri looks supremely confident this weekend, and that's why he's starting from pole. Can anyone get close to him today, I wonder? And of course, it's looking very close here today. A lot's going to be riding on those first few corners, and then the question becomes who can manage their tyres so they're in a better position to push hard towards the end.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Vettel, Max Verstappen, and Albon, Ricciardo, Sainz, Ocon, and Lando Norris, Grosjean, Raikkonen, Daniel Kvyat, and Giovinazzi. The scientist, Magnussen, Lance Stroll, and Pierre Gasly, Perez, Joe, Russell, and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
This is our engine supplier's home Grand Prix. Let's give them a race worth watching.
Let's hope we can do that. Strategy, let's see. I really am not too fond of the soft tyres, but mediums to hards doesn't look particularly appealing either, so we're just going to go with the standard soft to 2 mediums as we now go to the 5 red lights. And the lights are out immediately. We're underway for the French Grand Prix. We've got to watch out for the racing points behind. They will be very quick, as well as Gasly, as Kvyat goes down the inside of Grosjean into the first corner. They're going 3 wide up ahead, but Kvyat is going to get squeezed out on the outside line there. No room for him to work with as we're side by side with the Alfa Romeo of Antonio Giovinazzi. We're off the road completely there as we are trying to keep our front wing intact. We just managed to keep it alongside him through the next combination of corners. Round the outside of a bunch of cars though as we head around, and now we're on the outside of Kimi Raikkonen as we head through into the middle sector, and we may just be able to get this move done on Raikkonen, but the straight line speed of the Alfa Romeo is very, very good. Kvyat also getting through, and now Giovinazzi as well getting involved as Raikkonen defends to the inside of Kvyat, and Kvyat round the outside. He might get this done on the inside of the chicane. He does just about get through there. Raikkonen back down. We're going to get the run on him as he's compromised on the exit, and we do get the move done on Kimi Raikkonen. We've got a good run on Kvyat now. Can we make a move? No, we're going to back out of it. We do not want to run side by side into that chicane, so we're just going to sit back and wait for another opportunity potentially on Kvyat, but he's made a great start. We've made up a few positions as well, so it's a positive start for us. So yeah, we just need to try to continue this form into the next few laps, hopefully not roast our soft tyres, and try to make them last through this first stint. So yeah, we've survived the first lap, we've made up some good positions, so let's just try to settle into this race and keep this going for as long as we can. But unfortunately for us, Kimi Raikkonen has other ideas, and he's immediately going to put on the attack down the inside. We're going to take the wide line sweep across in front of him, carrying a lot of momentum through that corner to make sure that we clear him by the time we get to the apex, and we do manage to do that. So it's now Giovinazzi's turn to try to make the overtake as we run too deep into the chicane, and that's going to compromise us on the exit. Giovinazzi is going to get the run up on the outside here, and here he is to the inside of the flat-out right-hander. This is going to be very, very tight on the exit if we run side by side through here. Thankfully, he leaves us just enough space to work with as we continue to go side by side. We run deep into the next corner. Giovinazzi is through, and now we've got to watch out for Kimi Räikkönen. We leave him space, but thankfully he doesn't stick the nose in there, and we can hold on to this position. But that was a great battle with Giovinazzi, but we're actually going to box this lap because these tyres are absolutely toast. So I'm just going to get off of these as quickly as possible and run the rest of the race on the mediums, because I think that is that's the strategy that is going to get us out of trouble there. You would have seen on the temperatures just briefly there. They are way too hot, and we just cannot keep these soft tyres under control. So we're going to go on to the mediums now and run them a little bit longer in each stint than what the original plan was. These are going to be
We'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in our strategy.
probably 25 lap stints, which is very doable. They're going to be a little bit slower by the end. We'll get a bit of tyre wear, but compared to how those softs were feeling,
Guan Yu is in the pits. Guan Yu in the pits.
I can't imagine that this will be a bad strategy. So as Guan Yu Zhou is in the pits for his first stop, he's now pitting on lap 14. So he's doing approximately 20 lap stints on 2 sets of mediums.
Our gap to the car in front is 5.1 seconds.
Actually, I correct myself, he's going onto another set of softs. So it is going to be a long last stint for him as Esteban Ocon retires from the race with a mechanical failure and parks it up on the red stripes there. And he is out of the French Grand Prix, his home race, and also the home team. So the French fans will not be too pleased with that, but it happens. So back focusing on our race, we've got Guan Yu Zhou relatively close behind us, and as I said, he is on the soft tyres, so we're just going to stay off the apex here, let him go through, and he can run his own race. I'll run my own race, and it will help us out. It will help both of us out. We'll get a bit of DRS for a bit as well, but we move on again, and now the car behind is George Russell, so that is a very different story. We're not going to let Russell through quite as easily, and yeah, we're going to need to be putting on the defense and keep him as far away from our teammate and the race that we are in as possible. So here is on board with him. You may have just seen him stick the nose in around the outside there, compromised our line a bit, but we managed to hold him off, and he had to back out of that in the end, but he's going to come back at us
Is 5.1 seconds.
as we head along the main straight, and he might actually have a go here into this right-hander. This is going to be very, very tight if he sticks the nose in. I'm trying to look on the right-hand side of the car to see where he is, but I think we may have gotten away with that one. But George Russell is not holding back, and we just about managed to keep it behind there. But he has got a lot of pace on those soft tyres, so we really need to watch out for him in the DRS zones, and especially along that straight where he seems to be deploying a lot of energy. But again, here, even just along the main straight, he's got a lot of momentum. And now on the right hand side he goes as we head towards the chicane. We're going to be late on the brakes, though, super late, and we'll just about manage to get a stop and turn and stay ahead of him. I'll say it again, the braking on this car is absolutely insane, and that really helped us defend from Vettel in the last race. It's helping us defend from Russell now as we try to break the slipstream. He wasn't close enough to make a move on that occasion, but this is Kevin Magnussen going into the pits. He started on mediums, he's now going onto the hard tyres. So Magnussen trying the one stop in this race. That'll be interesting to see how that goes. Russell's in, and he, I think, is getting a front wing change in this race. So interesting strategy from them. I didn't actually see damage on his front wing. I had a look.
18th place, you're in 18th place. Guan Yu ahead. Okay, gap ahead is 10.3 2.3 seconds. They're on old softs. Latifi behind. Okay, the gap behind is 9.3 seconds. They're on old softs. You have 4 laps till your pit window opens. 26 laps to go.
But, yeah, interesting from Russell. I'm not sure where that damage came from.
Is coming in for his stop.
I assume he made contact with me at some point, but yeah, I don't know when that was. But as you heard there, Guan Yu Zhou coming in for his pit stop. I was actually planning on coming into the pits on this lap. It's halfway between when I stopped and the end of the race, so I was going to switch tyres, but we have to extend this stint by a lap.
Pit box is currently full. Stay out on track. Stay out on track.
And yeah, but right now it seems like the battle we are in is with Guan Yu Zhou and George Russell.
Affirmative. Medium tyres at the next stop.
And potentially Latifi. But it's a battle between the last 4, it seems, for us in this race. That's really kind of disappointing after we were in a pretty good position, but the undercut just didn't gain us any positions. Everyone else was
Green flag.
still going fast.
Some information on Latifi. They're retiring from the race.
On their soft tyres, as Nicholas Latifi retires from the race with a mechanical failure. So disappointment for the Williams team and for him. But that for us unfortunately brings out the safety car in this race. So that is good timing for us to come into the pits actually. So it's not completely a disaster, but I was not too happy with the exact timing of it. But anyway, we'll get going.
Strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
And yeah, get going once again, and we do eventually catch up into the train and get underway once again. You can see Kevin Magnussen
Some time to the car behind.
is up ahead. He is on the hard tyres still. Guan Yu Zhou ahead on the medium tyres, and I think that is realistically our goal. I wasn't entirely happy with the timing of that, because I felt like Guan Yu Zhou may have got a bit of an advantage. We should have been... Actually, maybe we shouldn't have been ahead of him, because he did overtake us. Maybe I'm just making all this up. But anyway, what I do know is that this is our best chance to overtake Magnussen in this race. He is on the hard tyres. They're quite worn. We are on brand new medium tyres. 0 kilometers on these ones. So we will be mega fast through the corners. So let's see if we can overtake Kevin Magnussen there, because the Ferrari engine in that car are very powerful. So that will be inhibiting us from overtaking him on the straights. But you can see with overtake mode we are gaining on the straights. We're now close enough, and we might just stick the nose in here where it doesn't belong. But Magnussen gives us the big squeeze up onto the curb. We hold it around the outside of the next corner. Can we make the move on Kevin Magnussen? And we might just get it done, and we do. Magnussen down a position, we're up a position. We'll get a replay of that, because that was a nice move. Sticking the nose in there. Magnussen did not see us coming. Thankfully he left us space on the outside of the next corner, and we just managed to find the grip around the outside and get the move done on the Dane, and we move ourselves up into P15 now, because Bottas, Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel, I think, have all made pit stops now in the race. So that will be very interesting to see them coming through the field towards the end. Bottas, remember, started on pole position, so how his race has gone wrong. Guan Yu Zhou defends to the inside. We're going to make the move on him relatively easily and move ourselves up into 14th position. That will not be where we finish with the...
We advise moving to mix 2, fuel to mix 2.
With the faster cars coming through the field later in the race, the likes of Verstappen.
Catching the car ahead, but be aware that these tyres need to last till the end of the race. We're leading our teammate by 1.9 seconds.
I was going to commentate over Bottas getting past us, but Jeff was too busy talking, so Bottas is through, and now here comes Sebastian Vettel as he give him a big squeeze. He really stuck his nose in there at the last minute, and as he gets a little bit held up, we run wide, and Verstappen gets Vettel in the process. Now Verstappen is on the back of us. We are going to try to defend these positions just to see if it's possible, but it doesn't really seem likely. The Red Bull is probably the most likely car
It is 2.9 seconds.
to keep behind us, they will be the slowest in the straight line. The Mercedes just went flying straight past before, but we make a mistake here, run deep into the corner, and Verstappen straight away takes that opportunity, and yeah, you didn't need to ask him twice. He just went straight through that door, and surely it probably won't be too long before Vettel gets us as well. It's a lot easier to overtake here than it was back in Canada, and I feel like this track just is not suiting our car quite as well. Even Guan Yu Zhou is having a bit of a struggle here compared to how we both went in Canada. So now we move on to what will be
This is your final lap of the race.
Final lap of the race, and on this lap I took a very slow lap on the last one, pulled out the tyres because we have the gap behind us. It's about 10 seconds or so to Guan Yu Zhou, so we are going to go for a fastest lap of the race. I don't think we'll be able to match the time I think that Hamilton has got, as we go purple through the first sector.
In this engine mode much longer, we're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix too soon.
Unbelievable through there. I was about to mention that Hamilton has not got a fastest lap all season. I think it's Bottas that has the majority of them. Verstappen's got a couple as well, but it might go to Lewis Hamilton today as he wins the French Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton adds another to his tally. Charles Leclerc's going to come around to finish in P2, but look who's running in P3. Daniel Ricciardo will stand on the podium in France for Renault. A superb drive from him as we come around into the final sector. We will continue our fast lap. We've got a green middle sector, and with just a few corners to go, we will surely be able to set a faster lap than our rival Pierre Gasly. We only need to improve by a few tenths over our previous best, and we are absolutely smashing that at the moment. So as we come around through the final corner, accelerating out a little bit of understeer through there as the tyres are wearing out. We're going to cross the line to finish down in 17th, but with a mighty fast lap time at the end.
Over. Take care of the car on the way in.
I'm pretty happy with that race.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So it's Lewis Hamilton who takes the race win. Charles Leclerc brings home P2 for Ferrari, but look at Daniel Ricciardo up on the podium for Renault. Great stuff from him.
Let's have a quick look at how the driver's standings have changed. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Kimi Raikkonen's my standout today. Nothing you could construe as showboating, just an incredibly consistent performance out on track.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Another team that will be satisfied with this Grand Prix is Alfa Romeo, whose good result moves them further up the championship. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Alright, so what a race that was. Ricciardo up on the podium, Albon a decent result, Raikkonen the first Finn to finish, Kvyat in the points, not the points Gasly would have wanted at his home race, Grosjean having a decent race as well. So as far as Haas goes at least, he'll be relatively happy, I think. We did manage to beat Magnussen in the other Haas. Look at the Kvyat, aggressive off the start, trying to overtake Grosjean, and I think one of the Alfa Romeos in there in the first corner. But yeah, as I was saying, we beat Kevin Magnussen. That's probably more than what we should have. we have the second slowest car on the grid, and that really showed today in this race. Just struggling to keep pace with anyone other than my teammate and the Williams. And yeah, Magnussen on the hard tyres was never going to have a good time of things as we paddle away with Russell in the highlights. That was a really good battle to have Russell on the soft tyres catching up. And the one with Magnussen as well, that overtake, which we'll probably get to shortly, was absolutely mega. And there was potentially some contact there. But anyway, here we go with Kevin Magnussen. Kevin Magnussen just sticking the nose in there at the last moment. He did not see us coming. But yeah, overall, there was a lot of nothing happening in that race. A lot of the time we were just driving around on our own, especially in the first stint trying to get the undercut. Didn't pay off for us. The undercut just didn't work. We just didn't have the pace today. It's as simple as that. So the next race is Austria. That is one of my favorite tracks, so really looking forward to that one. So yeah, that will be the target to hopefully get back in the points there. We'll probably have some upgrades on the car. I'm not exactly sure how long the gaps between races are to Austria, but hopefully that will happen. But anyway, let's get into some interviews.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. It's safe to say you're smashing everyone's expectations, isn't it?
Yeah, we had a pretty good weekend this time out, qualified well. The race pace wasn't quite there, but we did manage to beat one of the Hasses, so we're pretty happy about that.
How do you think this team will be feeling after that result?
Yeah, Racing Point will probably be a bit disappointed seeing Ricciardo up on the podium. They certainly have the pace to take a result like that on the right day, so yeah, they'll be disappointed that it went wrong in qualifying for them, but they'll come back fighting next time.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Claire. Alright, so first up, rivalry. We draw that with Pierre Gasly. We did absolutely smash his fastest lap, so that last lap attempt, well and truly worth it. We get a bunch of acclaim where level 9, I think level 10 is our next sponsor opportunity, so looking forward to that. And hopefully getting a little more income than what we are currently. 300,000 for that race, so decent stuff. We now get a little bit less because Guan Yu Zhou managed to damage the car, but $2.69 million. We can afford some upgrades to our facilities. But first up, we need to renegotiate our sponsors. That terrible zigzag sponsor that I chose a while ago is finally over. And now we can find a better opportunity. And I like the look of this Sunburst one. It is the goal is to complete a clean race, and we get well over $200,000 just for that. And I feel like that is a relatively easy goal that we can get most of the time. And on top of that, the weekly income is over 150,000. So. Yeah, it's I think all round a pretty good sponsor, so hopefully we'll sign this one and not regret it. And here you can see putting new sponsors on the car. We also now have enough money to upgrade one of our facilities, so we're going to do the fabrication upgrade to the power unit so we can do simultaneous developments on that side of things. Next up, we only have 2 days until the next event, so we're going to do the weight training for Guan Yu Zhou and help his pace a little bit. He's been doing a good job so far for us, so this will only help him do even better.
Our new parts have been completed without issue. They'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend.
That is the news I wanted to hear. Thank you, Carl. That is I believe, a ERS upgrade and a durability upgrade going onto the car for Austria, so that is great to hear. We're also going to do another upgrade now to fuel efficiency that will come later in the season. But that is about it for this episode, so I will say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time for the Austrian Grand Prix. Have a good day. Goodbye.